Okay, so before they jump into the goal setting workshop, I wanted us to hear from you the why behind you creating this workshop.
Yeah, so I think goals are often underrated. We think of goals maybe in terms of our work life or in terms of maybe getting healthy or whatever. But goals are really great when it comes to just even our families because it's kind of what brings us together. I think for me, one of the best seasons in my marriage was actually one of the hardest. We were newlyweds and we were trying to pay off college loans. And we were determined that before we had kids, we were just going to pay them off as fast as we could. And so we lived in Houston, and I drove 45 minutes to work in a car whose air conditioning did not work in the
No.
summer in rush hour traffic. If you're not familiar with Houston, I love it. It's a great city, but the temperature and the atmosphere is kind of like the armpit of Texas. It is so humid and horrible. But we were determined. We had this nasty little apartment in this very wealthy neighborhood in Houston. I like to say we brought in the lower end of the socioeconomic strata of the woodlands where we lived. And we would cook. This is so gross. But we would cook and we had to put the lids on our food because our neighbor did not want them to spray for bugs because she had cats. So little roaches would crawl down the wall. I mean, it was disgusting. We were like hardcore. We are paying off our loans as soon as we can with
Yeah.
everything we have, and we did. And it just was
Mm.
such a bonding experience for us to be all in, to suffer together, and to be committed to a goal together. So in that sense, I think goal setting is really important, and I think it's important to know how to set a goal because if you don't know how to set a goal, you're going to set something impossible. You're going to set something that's too high that frustrates people or divides you. So it's important to learn how to set a smart goal, how to set a goal that you can achieve, how to overcome the obstacles that are inevitably going to come your way, like broken air conditionings in summer in Houston. So, I think goals bring us together with our family, but they also bring us together with the Lord and
Yeah.
making sure that we set goals with Him and in line with what He's called us to. So, I think it's really important. It's inspiring to us as well. We can get so encouraged, and we're like, "Yes, I set this goal and I achieved it." It's like nobody goes to a movie that's just some sort of nebulous random story without a beginning or an end. Everybody
Hmm.
goes to a movie that has a particular problem that is
Yeah.
overcome. And when we create those not when we create kind of, I guess we're kind of creating problems. We're saying, this is the struggle, this is the
Yeah.
thing I want to achieve, and then I overcome it. It's just like we're sort of creating stories in our
Yeah.
lives
Yeah.
that build who we are and build our family and build the story that we get to share about what God's done in our lives.
Yeah, and I am so thankful for the way that you break down goal setting at its that's basic form so that we can understand that it has such a big impact on our daily lives and the things that we are doing as wives and like in any area of our day to day. We have an opportunity to set goals and be realistic and then achieve them. And you're right, there's so much joy and gratification and excitement when we get to check that thing off. And when we're experiencing that within ourselves, it affects our marriages. And when we're experiencing it together within our marriages, it affects our families and our communities, and it just trickles down. So thank you so much. I know that as we walk through this goal setting workshop and we can apply the things that you are sharing with us to specific goals that we're setting in our marriage, which isn't something we often think about in general. When's the last time you sat down and had a goal setting workshop, or session for your marriage goals? But it's an opportunity here to set some goals and see them achieved. So thank you so much for spending time and for sharing your workshop with us. And when we are through the goal setting workshop, what is the next step for us, waking up to our lives every morning? What does it look like after we've walked through the workshop and we've set some goals? What can we do next?
Well, kind of like I said, I think the important thing is not just to set goals, because sometimes we can do that and then that becomes maybe a little bit of our idol. that goal
Mm,
that we're setting becomes the thing that we are pursuing instead of God. So for me, the most important thing is just to wake up and spend time with God and just connect with Him. It can be like literally 3 minutes. In Hello Mornings, we have a thing called the 3 minute morning. And it's basically just a super simple routine that helps you kind of dive into the day with a minute of God time, a minute of plan time, and a minute of move time. And
yeah.
it's super simple. It's something you can do even while you like hit the snooze button under the covers in your bed. You don't even have to get up to do it. But I
Yeah.
think it's really important to make sure that our goals are aligned with God's goals and purposes for us. And just starting our day off right, as yeah, I don't know exactly everybody who's going to be watching this, but if you have kids, life can get crazy once kids come. And if now is the time to build a routine, or if you do have kids, you know that life can be crazy and we really can't mother or love those around us well without Jesus. So
Yeah.
just starting each day with him and spending time with him, I think, is the best next step so that our goals in our life align with his goals for our lives.